He plays piano, sax, sings, and arranges and composes music, and conducts too. And if that's not enough, Matt Catingub has worked with orchestras in LA, Georgia, New Mexico, New Hampshire, Nashville, Florida, Canada, Japan. Woo! We can't even list all the places he's been to. Maestro, take it away.
Hi, it's Matt Catingub, the artistic director and conductor of the Hawaii Pops. Being born into a family of music, my mother was a jazz singer. Her name was Mavis Rivers, the first lady of jazz of Samoa, if you will. But I grew up literally in a household where I had nothing but music. And then the certain type of music was important too, because, she was with Sinatra at the time, and she was with, all the great jazz singers. So I naturally fell into it. And she tells me I used to play piano by ear when I was 7 years old, starting to pick out some of her songs. So it really kind of just became a natural thing for me. I picked it up as naturally as anybody could. So from then on, I just started teaching myself piano, and I started playing saxophone. But the most important thing is in my career actually happened here in Hawaii. I was 15 years old, and Mom was singing at a jazz festival here at the Waikiki Shell, and she stuck her 15-year-old kid out on the stage to conduct for her. So that was pretty much the beginning of what how could I not get into this business, and certainly get into band leading or orchestra leading. So that's, thank you, Mom. Back in 1998, actually, when the Honolulu Symphony asked, hey, have you ever done this full time? No. And they said, would you like to? So I came to Hawaii and suddenly I was an orchestra conductor. And so, but conducting is certainly only one of the things I do. I orchestrate and arrange, and I've actually kind of morphed more into I guess you can call me a conductor slash performer slash host, if you will, to be able to put some of these shows on, as we're going to be doing this evening. I mean, this is all the music that I've arranged and orchestrated, not only for the orchestra, but for Jody Messina tonight. So that's kind of what I'm different in that respect. There's a lot of orchestra conductors who spend their time with a baton and stand in front of the orchestra, and that's all they do. Whereas that's only 1/4 of what I do with an orchestra. So I'm kind of unique in that way, I think, but you're still leading the band, if you will. Previous to that, I was more of a big band, jazz big band leader. And then I was also music director for a lot of great stars from the 60s and 70s, people like Jack Jones and Tony Tennille of the Captain and Tennille, Rosemary Clooney, people like that. So that kind of got me going in as far as getting to know some of these great artists. But when I started getting the opportunity to work with symphony orchestras, it became apparent that it would be really great to ask some of those folks I've had a chance to work with, or maybe even grew up with, to come join me in this new format, this new Pops orchestra format that I'm trying to just do a little different than they used to do in the 50s and 60s. So I asked people like, my old friends like Rosemary Clooney and Tony Tennille come to join me with the symphony. But then I even went back and asked my guys who I went to school with, like all the guys from the band Toto. They came to Hawaii once. And so working all those years with Rosemary Clooney was just probably some of the most pleasurable of my life. But I mean, I would be lying to you if I didn't know that it was how much fun it was to actually work with her nephew, George. And he asked me to do the music for his movie called Good Night and Good Luck about a few years back. And that was an incredible experience, because we actually performed their music live on the set. Very, very rare that you're able to do that. But so yeah, having a chance to work with artists like that, and in addition to some of the great artists I've worked with the symphony, people like Pat Benatar, the group Yes, Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, all these people I've had a chance to match up with the then Honolulu Symphony, and now plan to do with Hawaii Pops. It's been an absolute pleasure. So the creation of the Hawaii Pops was to actually kind of take it to the next level. In as much as I love playing at the Blaisdell Concert Hall with the symphony, it's still concert hall, and you can come to enjoy the concert. What I wanted to do was create something that was much more than just a concert, when we're calling it an event, really. So if you come here to the Hawaii Convention Center Ballroom, not only are you going to have your orchestra on stage, people like Jody Messina this evening singing with us, but we have dance floors, we're going to have food service, we're going to have bar service. Basically, it's an event. It's a very interactive way now to enjoy what people are familiar with. They'll remember my Pops years, but now this is kind of the next level, and I'm really encouraging people to just come and just have a great time, because that's really what this new iteration is all about. I actually lived in Hawaii for about 8 years. I think we left in 2008, and I loved living here. But one of the reasons I had to go back to the mainland was because I had a lot of different offers from a lot of the orchestras. And we all know, we're pretty far from the next landmass, which happens to be the West Coast. So I relocated back to the West Coast. I actually ended up going and moving to Las Vegas. For me, it's turned out to be the perfect location, because I'm now in the hub, and now the spokes of my wheel now take me to Hawaii, to Japan, to Canada, to the Midwest, to the East Coast, etc. So it became a very practical place for me to be. And in addition to the Hawaii Pops, I have an orchestra in Los Angeles called the Glendale Pops. I have an orchestra in Georgia called the Macon Pops. And then I guest conduct all over the world. So it's, as I say, all I need is an airport and a FedEx box and an internet connection. That's pretty much all I need these days. So that works.